are you asking me to step in? And Gavin's like, what? And he's like, are you asking me to step in? Step into Christmas.
Oh my God, that was such a cute little British moment that we all just shared.
That was beautiful.
Love it.
Hi.
Welcome to Anglatinas. I'm Rosie.
And I'm Izzy, and we're best friends from the UK.
We've spent these last few years living and travelling in Latin America, being immersed in new cultures, falling in and out of love, and learning to balance the old with the new.
Join us on this journey as we explore life living between continents, living the dream, the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
We are
Anglatinas. We hope you enjoy the ride.
Anyway,
so we have with us today Meg and Glyn.
Meg and Glyn.
Rose's friends.
Yeah. Meg Glyn is one of my best friends from uni. We played football together at uni. She was, or I was, captain and vice captain of the third Uni of Nottingham women's football team, the third team. I can't remember if I was vice and you were captain, or if I was captain.
I can remember I was captain and you were vice.
Okay, that's up for debate.
Really,
whatever.
Convenient that the vice couldn't remember which one.
We'll let that one slide. We'll edit that bit out. And she's on the podcast today. Why? Because, well, nobody else got the memo, but it's actually a Christmas episode today. And nobody else got the memo, but I came in my Christmas attire. And Meg's very kindly joined us for this episode, so thanks, Meg. But we want to get her take, because you now live in Australia, and we want to get your take about what that's like living in Australia, and also what it's like being there at Christmas and being away from home at Christmas, etc., etc.
How many Christmases have you spent away from home?
This is going to be my 4th Christmas away from home.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I can't believe
it. In a row.
Yeah, in a row. So I have been back home twice, but I haven't been home for Christmas. So yeah, definitely next year I will be home for Christmas, 100%.
That's cute.
Yeah,
I can't do another one away.
Okay. You really miss it? What is it that you miss?
So in general, or about Christmas?
Do you feel like you miss home more at Christmas time than at other times?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
And like whenever there's a big family event as well, that's when you'd kind of miss it at home more than just when you're just having normal life.
Yeah.
But Christmas time, because it is like, well, in my house, there's like, we've got a big family, our cousins, grandma and stuff. So yeah, it's always the saddest time to be away, I guess. And also Christmas in England is a lot of fun. And it's just different fun to Australia. But
yeah.
So that's why.
So when I messaged Meg and said, oh, for the episode, bring all of your like Christmas paraphernalia, hats, tinsel, whatever, Christmas jumpers, she was like, I don't have any of that here. Christmas doesn't exist. No, she actually said that. She said Christmas doesn't exist.
It's Australia.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Meg? Like, why does Christmas not exist? Well, I know you kind of, it's in jest, but
yeah, well, like Christmas for us is well, I don't know how it is for you, is obviously not being in England, but Christmas for us is in England is everything's like all the songs, oh baby it's cold outside, like everything's about the snow, and you have like the whole month of December. So I was living in London before I came out. The whole of December, everyone's like out for Christmas drinks all the time. And it is really cold, but I think the thing that kind of gets us through the cold at Christmas is we celebrate it for like a month. Do you know, like we have Christmas songs in every shops. Here, I don't really hear that many Christmas songs in shops. The other day I heard it in the shop. I was like, oh my God, like I haven't really heard that. And then you still have Christmas parties and things like that. But like Christmas Day, I don't know. I also don't know if it's more of a thing that is because I live in a flat with my Colombian housemate. Do you know? It's,
Mm.
I'm not with my family. In my family home, there's
And
Christmas
you're not with
trees and, like,
Australian people as well. So maybe I don't know if you have
yeah.
like Australian friends or how you normally spend Christmas Day, for example, but like me, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think like in general in Australia, people are a little bit less bothered about Christmas because they see it as
Really?
their summer holiday.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
like they love Christmas because it's their summer. It's like us having Christmas in July. Yeah, we'd love that. We'd be off anyway. Like so people here take, I don't know, like Christmas Eve or before all the way up until maybe the 16th of Jan or 20th of Jan or something like that. So they take a
That's
long
Brazil,
time
isn't
off.
it?
Yeah, it's basically the same. I think what we're talking
Oh,
about here
really?
basically is the difference between a tropical Christmas and a like northern hemisphere Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Potentially, because a lot of the
definitely.
differences sound really similar
Yeah, what
to
you
here
just
as
said there,
well.
Meg, you just described Brazil at Christmas. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like all
Yeah,
combined into summer, isn't it? Ev?
yeah, yeah. And I miss like specifically Christmas Day, obviously. Like you said,
Mm.
like when there's a family occasion and stuff, like obviously you're always gonna feel like you want to be at home, and but I feel like I miss home, England, more at
England.
in the summer rather than like at Christmas time, because I feel like
Ah,
that's represents the time for me where like everyone's together, everyone's like up
Mm.
for doing stuff, like everyone's doing
yeah.
barbecues and they're like just up for anything. And taking away like specifically like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, for me personally anyway, Christmas or like winter is just kind of like a bit of a depressing time. And even what you described about like I think like we can look at it like nostalgically and kind of like a romantic way of like, oh, the Christmas music and stuff, but don't you always also just get a bit sick of it, like they milk it
Yeah.
dry?
No, no, I'll never say that. I'm sick of it. I miss it so much.
Really? Even
Oh,
when it
Like,
started from like
but if you could,
like
sorry,
October
Rose.
finishes, yeah, it's right. October, Halloween finishes, 1st of November, all the shops are full of your Christmas shit, all the
yeah, I love
songs
that,
on the
Rosie.
radio. You're not sick of that. You would not get
No,
sick of that,
I
Meg.
used
You're
to
here for it.
like, but my Christmas, my family like loves Christmas. My mom is like Mrs. Claus, seriously. So every time in October would start, my me and my sister, I would draw. We made our own wrapping paper. So it come October and like these, we made our own. What's those things where you join them together? It's like that.
Paper
Like,
chains.
Yeah, like a paper chain. But then we draw on each paper chain like the snowman, like Christmas doodles. And so from
When you were
October,
kids or when you were adults?
like a bit of, but I actually have started my own wrapping paper this time. Can you see? Like I literally,
Wait,
so then I'll make loads of these, stick them
got a
together, and
blue
then I
one.
can wrap up the presents with it. So I used to start that in October. I used to come
Oh,
home from a
it's so
school. My sister's
cute.
like, "Oh, I can't be bothered," and I'm like, "We have to do it. It's getting closer."
We've committed this
oh,
far. We've done it. We've
we've
done it
asked the
this
right
far.
person, haven't we?
Yeah, we've asked the
But
right person to
do you
come
know?
on
I
and say
For the
think
this.
Christmas
like
episode.
I miss summer in England, but I feel like in England you get both. You get if you from England, lived in England, you get summer and then you get Christmas. But here you just get
Sometimes.
summer.
You
Yeah,
get summer
yeah, that's
sometimes.
so true.
Oh yeah, true. For a week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
that's
what you're
so true,
saying.
Meg. Like you have to combine. It's like those people that have birthdays near Christmas as well, and they have to
Mm,
combine two in one. Where at least when it's halfway through the
exactly.
year, I'm with you actually, Meg. I'm really, really with you on that one. Yeah.
Mm.
Izzy, how many Christmases have you had away from home,
Um,
or have you been? Or it's easy to say, have you been back for Christmas since you
yeah,
moved to Brazil?
I think I also had 4 away in total, but not in a row. So I've been back twice at Christmas. I think.
Yeah,
Would you
I remember. I remember
concur?
you were back for one
Yeah, and the
when
other one
Fernando
you weren't
came.
there
Kept it a
post-pandemic.
secret from you, Rose.
Yeah, Fernando went both times, but you just went there.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
I was still there.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
you weren't there, it still
Yeah.
counts. No,
I think Christmas in England as well, but they have it here. But everyone, well, because Willard, my partner, is Australian, everyone like goes to their home for Christmas, and I think that's what we had because like you're from home, then so let's say the Cotswolds, then you all go to uni, and then at
Yeah.
Christmas it's like a big school reunion. So I think that's what's
Yeah.
like another nice thing about having Christmas back home. But obviously, if Willard came to England for Christmas, he would miss that about Australia. So
Yeah.
Mm.
What, like meeting up with all of his home friends?
yeah, and like
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, I don't know what it's like in Burton-on-Trent, but Burton-on-the-Trent.
Oh, it's like
Burton-on-Trent.
lively. Oh, it's buzzing.
It is actually.
Yeah, no, it actually is. Yeah, stop throwing shade on the town. Yeah, it is. It actually is all
I'm
right.
just saying. I
No,
don't
not
know what
you,
it's like.
me,
Like,
me. Yeah.
oh,
Are
do
you from the
all meet up on
Cotswolds?
Christmas Eve? Yeah.
Ah. The first Christmas I spent away from home, I was in Colombia, actually. And then all
Oh,
of the others have
really?
been here. Mhm.
Where's Louisa
So
at?
did you do actually the other day we had the Candles Day. Did you do that when you were there?
No.
It's like on
What's the
the
Candles Day?
it's like it's one of the first days they celebrate Christmas. So we hosted the candles night. I don't know how to say it in
Ah.
Spanish. And
Noche
then
de
they just had
Velas.
all of them. Oh yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that was it.
I love
Yeah.
it. We've still got Anglatinas in the.
Of course.
Just to pause on the Christmas festivities for a moment. How do you feel about Australia in general? Like, what took you to Australia and what kept you there?
Yeah, well, a bit of a weird one. I think, well, actually, I traveled Australia when I was like maybe 6 years ago with my best friend. We went away for 3 months and we had the best time in Australia. At the time, Lucy said, "Oh, let's stay in Australia. Let's just not go home." But then that never happened. We went back to London, and then so it's always kind of been in my mind, oh, I could live in Australia. And I've always thought, my mum's always said you should live in another country. Like my mum has really pushed that. And my mum has actually lived in Australia and loads of different countries. And then I had my ex-partner, Mitch. We were living in London and he said he's going to move to Australia. And do I want to come, basically? So I was like, whatever, for 9 months, let's just do it. Because he could work over here and get a lot of money for his job because he's an engineer. So then we went, it was only meant to be for 9 months, but then he flew out in January and I wasn't ready to go out in 2020 and I wasn't ready to go out till March. Till April. And then he messages in me on like one Sunday morning and was like, you have to fly tomorrow because the borders are shutting because of COVID. And I hadn't said bye to anyone. Like I hadn't had any bags packed. And then I was like crying genuinely for like probably 48 hours. And I called my mum and I was like, Mum, like, he says I have to come tomorrow. I'm not going to go. And I was like, I'm not going. I've still got like my job to finish up and stuff. And my mum was like, you have to go. Then I just went that next day.
Literally
And then
put all your shit into a bag and went.
Yeah, my mum met me to take me to the airport and she put some stuff in a bag for me as well. I did have so I wasn't really living in a home at this time. I was staying at my friend's because I knew I was leaving over the next and our lease was up, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, then they met me. I was like, this is the most emotional I've ever been.
And you
for
spent
like 2
like 2
days.
years.
Yeah, then I couldn't go home for 2 years. And then, so that was always I feel because my mindset was, oh, we're only here for 9 months. Like, I think that does inhibit you a bit because you don't feel like you feel very temporary, like everything's temporary. Oh, there's no point me buying anything nice for their flat or whatever because like I'm going home. And I was always like, oh, yeah, I don't know, just never committed to it being, yeah, this is my life for now. Let's live it. It was kind of yeah, never really liked
And in
that.
between, it was an in-between
pretty
stage.
much, and because it was so unknown because of COVID as well, and the visa situation. So either he got sponsored, which means we both get sponsored. But then I was like, do we want to get sponsored? Like, because then we committed for staying for another year, and this sucks because Australia was on lockdown so strict. Like, you can't leave within 5 kilometers of your house. We had, I think, one of the longest lockdowns in the world. And we're getting to 0. So every day it's like, oh, there's actually 500 COVID cases today. The next day there's 498 COVID cases. It's just making improvements and it will go down. And so every day they'd release the number. Then suddenly it would shoot back up because there's a party in North Melbourne or something like that. And then you get in lockdown for another however long. So yeah, that was a bit. So then because of the visa, Mitch really wanted to stay. And so we just kind of said, yeah, and then stayed, really.
So the first Christmas abroad was in lockdown.
So we were out of lockdown that first Christmas, and Mitch and I had like 3 weeks off. So we went to Tasmania and went on a like a camper van for a week, and then came back and then had Christmas with all our friends. We call it like orphan Christmas because everyone is here. We've got a huge English friendship group. So yeah, we all just spent Christmas Day together. And then so we
The-
came back from
The
Tasmania on Christmas
orphans
Day and
who chose to abandon their family.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
the orphans, and there's like 30 of us partying, having the best
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's hardly fucking Oliver Twist, is it? It's like
yeah.
living it up.
So that was the
living it up.
first Christmas. Second Christmas again was just like a big party with the English group of friends. But I don't know, like I said, it just feels like a summer weekend rather than Christmas. So you just feels like you just miss Christmas. And then the following one was with my new partner Willard in his family home, and he's got two younger sisters, and they were 13 and 15, and like a big farmhouse in a place called Wagga Wagga, with his mom, brother's girlfriend who's German. So yeah, that was like for me just like way more Christmassy, and I don't know, there's good things of both obviously, but for me that's
Yeah.
what Christmas is.
So in
How
that
much-
Christmas,
Yeah.
sorry, Rose.
No, go on.
In that Christmas in your boyfriend's family home, what were like the traditions that you would kind of label as typically Australian Christmas things?
Well, things are more like barbecuey. So
No, don't tell people that. We can't reinforce that stereotype. Like.
well, actually, this is what happened on that Christmas Day, and I was like, oh my God, like FaceTime my mom because it was their Christmas Eve, and they're watching
Literally
like
a
Christmas
meme.
films,
Just everyone with the fucking
and then
corks on the strings.
and they're really farmy, and they have
Farmy.
this. They've moved to a different farm now, but their old farm had this big pool, and there used to be loads of frogs that got into the pool. And the mum is hilarious, and this sister Sydney, her name's Sydney. Her mum's going, Sydney, and me and Sydney were talking, like looking at our presents. She goes, "Oh, mum's calling me. I bet there's frogs in the pool again." And I was like, "What?"
Is that your
And she was
Australian
like,
accent?
"Well, yeah, there's frogs in the pool." And then she was like, follow me. And then I followed her, and her mum's like, Sydney, get this. And then they're all fishing out like so many frogs in the pool. I'm like, oh my God.
Where are they? On the bottom? Like on
No,
the,
they just float on top like that, I
floating on
think.
top of the
Ah.
water.
Well, I don't really know. I didn't really like to go near them.
Yeah, you're not much of an animal lover, are you, Meg?
No, and they have so many animals.
Went to the right place, didn't you?
Yeah. My question was related, so let me ask it. How much how much would you say your experience changed, like between partners, and not because of the partners, but because one was English and one was Australian? Do you feel
Yeah.
now like more
Good eye, mate.
deeper in it now? Do you feel like kind of more like experiencing more authentic Australian experience because of your partner,
Like the
or not?
culture
Yeah,
in general.
definitely. Like, I'm so grateful for all my English friends here, and we have literally, our group is generally like 30 or 40 people, and there's things every weekend, and that's like really amazing to have that. But when I was with my ex-partner, I actually joined a football team, and so everyone there was Australian, and then everyone from work was Australian as well.
Yeah.
Obviously apart from Louisa, but so I did have different friendship groups, but when I met Willard, that's when I can kind of, well, he has obviously got all of his Australian mates, but more than that, it's like going back to his hometown in Wagga Wagga,
Yeah.
because that's like old Australian. So yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just like, yeah, very different to anything I would have ever experienced.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it like the
not
bush,
knowing
like the
someone from there.
outback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not that, it's not like the actual outback, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess it is
What is
more
the
like
outback?
that. So Well, I don't really know. I think the outback is like, I think near like Northern Territory. Oh my God, I
Okay.
hope no Australian listens to this.
They're going to be so insulted.
I think
And there's like
they
you're in the
potentially
bush and
will.
you can drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
If
can drive for
anyone-
hours and you don't see anyone.
If anyone Australian is listening, then please clarify this doubt in the comments. I would
Yeah,
love to
yeah,
know.
let us know.
Meg, where do you
Mhm.
live?
I live in Melbourne. So yeah, I think Melbourne is the best city. I have been to Sydney and stuff, but Melbourne's weather does suck in comparison to the rest of Australia. But I wouldn't live anywhere else in Australia.
Melbourne, what?
The weather is like really bad in comparison to the rest of Australia. Like, yeah, I think the life in Australia, the quality of life is so much better than back
Really?
home. Like
work-life
you get
balance.
work-life balance, but also it's sunnier, it's warmer. Over winter, it's not like that cold. Everyone has just so much more money as well. So the wage is so much better. You just go out and you're not, I don't know, you're not. I feel like when I go home, friends are like, oh, no money. But here it's like, oh, you want to go for brunch or book this flight, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. There's no scrimping and
So-
saving.
No, not really. And like, yeah, people you do that obviously if you want to save your money rather than just spend it like me.
Yeah.
But and also I mean also in a very fortunate position with my job that I do earn like
Yeah.
good money. There's of course I'm not speaking for the whole of Australia. There's loads of people who aren't in this fortunate position.
Yeah.
But I think as like young professionals or my friends or whoever, if they came here and find similar jobs, like as an example, my sister works in a bar. I think she gets £10 an hour. And here the minimum, the like average you'd get is like $32, which is about, I don't know, £17 an
Yeah.
hour. And then at the weekends you'd always get time and a half or double time on a Sunday. So you're earning so much more money than to do the same jobs, basically.
Obviously not everyone, but if you were doing the same thing that you're doing now, but back home, like in London, you would not be as well off.
It's hard to say because also like
Mm.
rent is so much more expensive in London. Your transport's so much expensive. Like, so for example, my rent here is what do I pay? Like 1,100 Australian dollars, so maybe £600
That's cheap as fuck, yeah.
to live in like a really nice flat. And where I am, also you don't really have to pay much for transport because you can get on the tram for free. Like you're not meant to, but you can. But back home, like my sister in London the other day said her transport was £16 because she went to like, yeah, she said £16 a day, and I was like, you literally pay like $4 a day maybe.
Within London,
Yeah,
to go to like zone 4 or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
No.
So
Disgusting, isn't it?
that's why it's just a bit more disposable because not as much goes on rent and travel, I guess.
Yeah. So overall, your quality of life is banging.
Yeah, it is. But again, I don't want to speak for everyone in Australia
Yeah.
because I can only really speak from my own and my friends
yeah.
around here. So on that, sorry, I got off my ex-partner's visa and I'm sponsored with my work. So if I leave this job, I leave Australia currently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait till I get my PR, my permanent residency, and then yeah, you can leave the job if you want to. But
Okay. And when will you get that, or how long do you have to wait? How long do you have to live there
you have to be
qualify for?
sponsored in the job for 2 years.
Yeah.
So actually, what used to happen is you came to Australia, and to stay in, everyone from England's granted a one working holiday visa,
Yeah.
which means you can stay for 1 year. If
Yeah.
you want to extend it for 2 years, you do 3 months of farm work. So that means like fruit picking. You go out,
strawberries,
you
yeah.
go to the outback, and then and then
Maybe.
do this
Sign up.
farm. And then do this fruit picking and stuff. But now they're kind of changing stuff a little bit because they want, from COVID, they want people to stay in the country. So anyway, my work sponsors me for 2 years. And once they sponsor me for 2 years, I can then apply for PR.
That's not bad at all, is it, really? That's sounds like quite a smooth.
They've only just made that a thing. So I've been in the
Right.
company for nearly 3 years, but only sponsored for like 7 months. So I have to wait for
Right.
another year and a half.
Okay.
So
But then you can get your
basically,
permanent residency, and then you can stay there with no ties to a job, and you get a little bit more freedom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
nice, very nice.
Christmas is the only thing that you miss about England.
Yeah,
Bringing it back to the beginning.
yeah.
Guys,
Sorry, we're going off
You
topic.
didn't want to like badmouth Australia or
I-
whatever, but that was just in terms of Christmas, literally.
Christmas. Yeah, like I actually don't want to shit on Australia like that much because it is, I mean, it's so amazing, but there's obviously good and bad things about both. Like I am so excited to move home, however long I'm gonna do that for. But yeah, because that for all the things that I miss about home that I don't have here, obviously.
Mm.
Like the pub.
They don't
Yeah.
have pubs in Australia. Did we not take
We
that with
do,
us?
but we do, but
With all the
I
prisoners, we
just
took pub culture, didn't we?
It's the most obvious.
Yeah.
But I,
Really? Is there not
I
any
genuinely
pubs?
thought that there was a pub culture in Australia. They are
there
big
is a
drinkers
pub
as well, aren't
culture. Yeah, there is, and there is a pub culture. But I just don't feel it's hard also because I don't ever really when I think about England and talk about England, I don't really think about the rest of England. I think about London because that's where I was and that's where I drank and stuff. So we'd like be on a like and here the life is a lot slower. So after work, we don't really go out for after work drinks all the time and stuff. And I can only speak for my own like thingy, but people are just kind of happy to work from home and do it and then be done with it rather than like all go out in the office after work together and drink, wake up hungover, go back into the office the next day. Like that doesn't really happen here that much for me anyway.
But do you
And
think that
that's
that's a switch maybe like post-pandemic? I don't know
yeah, that's
how
the
it is in
thing.
England, but maybe like more people in general work from home, I guess.
That's the thing as well. Like I always try, or people ask me like, what's the differences and stuff, and I don't like because I'm 28 now and I came here when I was 24. I'm older, so I'm hanging out with maybe older people, I don't know, who have families and things, and the pandemic, and it's a different country. So I'm like, I don't actually know like
Yeah.
what's different, me,
Yeah.
the world, or the country.
Yeah, that's such a
Story of
good
my
point.
life. Literally
That's such
story
a
of my
good
life.
point. So I have a question. How are English people received in Australia in general?
That's
a good question,
so
Izzy.
I live in St Kilda, which is in part of Melbourne, which is where if you're English, you likely live in this area. I think it's hard because I think people perceive us, I don't know, like with the accent, everyone's like, I love your accent. Oh, it sounds such a nice accent. Like that's always what you get. I'm sometimes on
Yeah.
the phones at work, like, oh, we love the English accent.
That's why you sell so
But then
much. That's why you're
Yeah,
making so
we
much
wouldn't
money.
get that right.
Shit at your
So
job.
I
It's just
think
it's just a British accent that they like.
yeah, I'd fail if I did my sales job back home.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And you'd have double the rent to pay. You'd be fucked.
but I do think English, I don't really know how they perceive
No, I asked
English
how they're
people.
received, like are English people received well?
Oh,
Like, for example, in England,
yeah.
like certain nationalities are received well, others not so well. In general, obviously can't speak for how every single person receives, but like in general.
Yeah, received well. Like,
It's not like,
no,
oh, another British person coming to steal our jobs.
nah, not like that. Well, as far as I know, oh my God, hope not, but no.
You don't know what they're saying behind the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Let's keep it that
But
way.
there's quite a good mingling, like from what I've gathered, Meg, from obviously when we've spoken, and that, like there's quite a good mingling of you have your English groups, but you also have your Australian groups, and there's no like sometimes they come together and there's no like animosity. I guess that also the cultures are quite similar. Like it's not so
We are really similar.
I was
yeah,
gonna
it's
say
not
that.
so drastic.
Do you feel like because there is a stereotype, isn't there? I don't know if stereotype is actually the right word, but there's like a concept. What's the word? Rose?
About
Perception.
Australians.
Conception that like
Perception.
that England, no, that Australia is like a sunny England, basically. Like obviously we're not talking about the outback and like indigenous Aboriginal Australia, but like the westernized part of Australia. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, I'd say England and Australia are very similar. But obviously, yeah, nicer weather here. I think people are similar, but there is like a difference in humor, like for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't describe it. Like, I don't know if we're a bit more like self-deprecating in England
British,
and
yeah,
would like
yeah,
take the piss out of each other, or like a bit more sarcastic. I don't really know what it is, but
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a bit different. But I think the like people from England think people in Australia are like so chill, go surfing. Like, it's not all like that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are real people as well, not
Yeah.
just like Billabong.
Yeah.
Poster
Billabong
children.
stuff. Uh, uh,
Uh,
okay.
but I do, on the sarcasm point, British humor is one of the top things that I'm personally miss about England.
Oh,
Mm.
really?
Yeah. I think it's
Same
really
here.
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Or just when you're chatting, just like when we're chatting on WhatsApp and stuff, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you can't. It's like, oh, yeah, you can't even explain it. I don't even know why I'm trying to, but you
Yeah.
can't even
Yeah,
explain
that's what I can't
Yeah.
explain it.
It's hard. It's hard. I think probably every country has that though. Every country has that, like, oh, our humor is the best because it's what you grew up with. Like, I remember,
Mhm.
for example, Mexico. Mexican people think they're the funniest people to ever walk the earth, and to them they are. Do you know what I mean?
But I
But
find Brazilian humor funny too, but it just doesn't compare.
okay, yeah, because yeah, you didn't grow up with it. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
Or it's just
But
the
yeah,
best.
You talked about the frogs in the pool, but we got distracted actually from the barbecue vibes. So Christmas Day is like a whole
Oh,
barbecue situation. Is that what happened?
yeah. So there'll be last year the dad's house, there was like barbecue vibes, like fish, loads of fish actually, and salads and so on. And then but at the mum's house, we did do more of a Christmas dinner, but there's kind of a bit of everything, like salads and so on. It's not like our roast dinner. But there would be the meat and then yeah, salads and yeah, it's just barbecue vibes, to be honest. Like, everything's open, it's all sunny.
is it good though? I mean, was it good food? Was it like, this is a delicious Christmas dinner?
Yeah,
Did you feel satisfied?
yeah, I was really full. Yeah, it's just different. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
I wanted to ask, is it like commercial? Like, is there like the same level of like money involved, and like everyone's got to buy presents, everyone spends lots of money and adverts on TV, and is it like that kind of, like, in Britain we have
I
like this
just don't think
Americanized.
it is.
Is it
I
not?
just don't think it is as
That's quite
much. Like,
nice.
Christmas songs and stuff don't are there everything talks about the cold, like I said, in
Yeah.
every Christmas song. But Christmas presents, that for me, I'll show you guys a photo after of our last Christmas, and it was like the mum, so Sky, Sydney Pepper, everyone sat around the tree, and there's so many presents.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I had that just because they're very like extra, and they like buying presents and stuff. But in general, like adverts on the TV, nah, don't really see as much. We do Secret Santa here, like with work, for example. So
Yeah,
that it all still happens, but yeah, I'd say it is less so. There's less
that's
like
good.
Christmas stuff. There might be a Christmas section rather than the whole shop filled with
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's quite nice. I quite like that.
My
Not
mum sent me an
sober.
advent calendar. I was like, Mum, no, they do actually have those here.
What do you get
Ah.
inside them? Little chocolates
Yeah.
or different things? Love that. Do you have an advent calendar, Is that a
No.
Brazilian thing?
No.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
No.
But I have to admit, like, I just like a lot of the contrast. My question was, have you ever spent one of these Christmases on the beach? Is Melbourne on the coast? I'm really ignorant in
Yeah,
terms of Australia. I need to do my research.
it is.
Yeah.
It is, but like, so St Kilda, where we live, is on the beach. This is why a load of the English people go there, but it's not like an amazing beach or anything. So if you spend Christmas on this beach. It's more because there's loads of English people who are about 18 to 30, whatever. They don't have their family here, so they go and have a big rave on the beach. So you don't really want to be part of that, because it's not like it's a bit frowned upon in Australia, I think, from speaking to people that that English people go and do that and just go and drink in public and stuff. So we haven't done that in Australia. But if you're in Sydney, for example, Bondi Beach is where see all those girls in like the red bikini Christmas Day with a Santa hat on. Yeah, that'll be in Bondi in Sydney. So I haven't. It's just more being in barbecues and people's gardens and stuff.
Nice.
You should go to
Nice.
Bondi, Meg. Go and be one of the
I have been.
models.
But not for Christmas Day.
Okay.
I mean, Wagga Wagga.
Okay. Yeah, turn down Wagga Wagga.
I love Christmas Day on the beach. I have
love
to
it.
say, genuinely,
Oh,
if
do you
I
love
could
it?
if I could like every year have, or which this is the goal, ultimate goal, bring my family here every year for Christmas, then I would, I just don't know if I would ever be sad if I didn't have another Christmas in England. The bit that I miss is my family. Like, I get sad that we're not together. But in terms of like, I just love it. Here you celebrate 24th like at midnight. So it's like a big midnight feast, like a big Christmas banquet. And then everyone like drinks and everything socializes like into the early hours. And then Christmas Day is like hungover on the beach, having the dog. What's not to love?
Because all of the things that we do in England, all the customs, traditions, whatever, you could literally just transport them over to Brazil and do that with your family, and it'd still be just as good. Like, there's nothing actually attached to England as a country. Maybe the pubs, you know.
I think it's like the
turkeys.
memory. It's like when you're far away from it and it's all happening and you're far away from it. It's like the affectionate memory, isn't it, of like those things that are attached to Christmas? Because now it's become like normal for me, so it's different. But I think that I don't feel like it's Christmas. Like, I enjoy the Christmas celebration, I enjoy what happens, but I don't feel like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
exactly the
also,
same.
but probably for like the same reason of the commercial aspect. It's not rammed down your throat for 2 months before. Like, there's no getting away from it. There's absolutely no getting away from it. I have the same thing as you, Izzy. Like, I missed when I spent two Christmases away from home. One I was in Belize, and Abby and Tom came, and we were in Belize all together, and that was wicked because there was a big group of people from all different countries. We had this amazing Christmas dinner. We were in this hostel that was run actually by a British woman with her Belizean husband, and it was just pure vibes. And then was that the only one? Maybe that was the only one. I think that was actually the only one. I'm getting confused thinking that there were two, but no, there was only one. But like, that was okay because it was just so different.
You're
Oh
noggin.
yeah, what a dick. Sorry, mate. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I'm tired, sorry. Yeah, but both of them, none of them felt like I was missing anything really, because I was experiencing something completely different and completely amazing for the first time. So I was like, I didn't really have FOMO or anything like that. I got more FOMO about summer.
I even did you a roast on that Christmas. Did a nut roast and everything.
Yeah, we did, didn't we, with Steph? Oh my God, of course we did.
That's so cute.
Beautiful. That was really good memories. So I haven't like had really chance to mourn Christmas being away from home, but I have definitely had times over summer where I've been like, just really want to be in the beer garden in England right now. Like, I don't know, I just get such FOMO when everyone's in the sun in England and I'm not. Even if I'm in the sun in Cancun, it's not the same.
I really do. I appreciate Meg's appreciation for Christmas. Thank you so much for bringing that appreciation to this humbug.
Yeah, oh my God. Izzy, I'm so glad you just said humbug. I got two things to say. You know, Meg, you know I've adopted a cat. I found a cat at the park. Anyway, yeah, I found a kitten at the park, and he's staying with us. And guess what I'm calling him? Izzy, you just humbug. You gave it away a little bit. Pardon?
Ebenezer.
Ebenezer. I'm calling it Ebenezer. Don't you love it?
I preferred Comet.
That is really good.
You preferred Comet?
Ebenezer.
But I haven't met him, so
maybe we can put a poll.
A
and everyone
hyphen.
can vote for what we should call him.
Would you call him like a nickname, like Neza?
Well, that's the thing, innit? I don't know.
Neza.
Or Ebby.
Ebby. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit. It needs
Put it in the
shortening down.
poll. What the nickname should be.
Yeah. Please comment what you think I should call my Christmas miracle cat. The other Christmas miracle, before I forget, is that this little meeting, this little rendezvous actually came to fruition, because you don't realize how hard it is. This is not for you guys, this is for the listeners. If I can just say how hard it is to schedule a meeting when you're in 3 different time zones, literally here, and here. And I was like, wait, Izzy can do 7 p.m. Brazil time. That's what time is that in Melbourne? What the thought? Yeah.
What day is that in Melbourne?
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for making it happen. When I came into the call, Meg was like, "What time is it for you?" I was like, 7 p.m. She was like, "On Tuesday."
You're living in the future, Meg. You're living in the future. Oh my
I
God, that's
know,
nuts.
it's quite nice here, guys. Can't wait to join.
Yeah.
Would you say that a fair sum up is that you love Australia,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that you miss home, and you would like to live there again one day?
Yeah,
In
100%.
London.
That is my plan, but I think like anything can happen. So I think if I hadn't met Willard, possibly I'd be home now. Like, and I'm not saying I'm here for him, but I don't
It's a
even
factor.
know what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
anything can happen. So I'm not that in my head. It's the rough plan, but I know that I wasn't meant to be here. Like after the 9 months, and I'm still here. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Do you
What's doing you,
consider
babe?
it to be home? Like, I noticed that you refer to home as England.
No, I wouldn't say home, but like I have said it, when I'm booking a flight back to Australia, I'm like, yeah, I'm going home on this day. My mum's like, you are home, baby girl, you're home. So sometimes I
Oh.
do, but no, yeah, home for me is still England.
Can I come to your grandma's 90th?
Yeah, like when you came to my family Christmas and threw up on my doorstep.
Opa, shade.
Did I?
Yeah, you were so
Was that
nervous. 'Cause you're like,
Christmas?
oh, yeah, it was Christmas
No, it
Eve. Like,
wasn't.
yeah, it was. It wasn't Christmas Day, obviously, but it was because I've got a photo of me, you, and Lucy Barrett, and Sophie Thomas in front of the Christmas tree.
I remember the event very well, but I
She's
don't
like
remember that
them.
it was
She's like
Christmas.
them British yobs on the beach on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, on
Australians
Bondi Beach.
frown
You
upon.
know.
Down in the
Yeah.
Cotswolds, giving Burton a bad name.
Meg, was that Christmas? Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Lovely.
because we all had
Thematic.
And did I throw up on the gravel? Was it the gravel? You got a gravel drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is coming back to
Yeah,
me
that
now.
was
I
so
do
funny.
remember
But
that.
yeah, please come to my grandma's 90th.
You think she'll be all right with that? I haven't seen your fam
100%.
for ages. Yes.
Guys, sorry,
But,
off topic, but you were saying about traveling, and I'd just like to say that I do think it is common just for everyone. I did that little shade about, oh, have you been to Argentina? Have you been to Bolivia? But I think it is common that we just want to know what's different, don't we? So we all want to like go out but also, isn't it quite common for Australians to go to like Indonesia and like Bali and that?
Yeah, so it's probably maybe 6 hours from Melbourne to get to Bali. Maybe even less than that, maybe 5 hours. So Thailand's right in the middle, which is that, and Sri Lanka as well. So I met my family halfway in Sri Lanka, which was fun. So it's not like so far away from everything. You do have a lot of this side of the world, but it's not just a train to Paris or flight to wherever.
Well, yeah.
That's
okay.
We do take that for granted, I think, in Britain, like, or in England. Like, you are just a stone's throw away from many kind of amazing capitals. I know it's not cheap, but still, it is kind of cheap, actually.
It is cheap.
I went to Lisbon. Yeah, I went to Lisbon recently, and it was cheap as hell. You can go to Amsterdam.
It is
for quid or
relatively
whatever.
cheap, like for the like traveling in Brazil is really expensive,
especially around
like 4
Christmas.
million people.
People do it for like Christmas markets and that, don't they? And go to like, I don't know, Hamburg or whatever, and just pop around. It's cool.
I genuinely didn't have any concept of distance until I came to South America. Like, you think that something's far away. Like, I would say that Burton is far away from London, and in Brazilian terms, it's like
10-minute walk.
Or
Or walking.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready. I'm gonna go
Quick
again.
fire round. Okay, go on.
Quick fire round of questions. Okay, number 1. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference about Christmas in England and in Australia?
It sounds a bit simple, but the weather, like,
Yeah.
because it is literally the opposite seasons, it changes everything about
Mhm.
Christmas. Like I said, the songs don't match up. There's just less of a whole vibe around it because of the weather.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, Meg. That is fair enough. Favorite Christmas song?
Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Bruce Springsteen, my mum's favorite as
Really?
well.
Love
Yeah, you should
that.
A
listen to it. It's so good.
curveball.
It's like
That
a
is
live one as well.
okay.
The live
I
version.
can bring it to
Yeah,
mind. Wow.
it just gets me so excited.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Favorite thing about Christmas in both places.
Favorite thing in Australia is that people take a really long time off for Christmas. So yeah, the like offices shut down definitely between Christmas and New Year's, and then people take more time after. So like when I was working back home, it was like work up until Christmas. Christmas is done, and then you carry on working. But here it was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Can we talk in the new year in late Jan? I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Out of office,
It's
babe.
so
Out of office until 16th.
yeah,
Don't at me.
exactly. And then in England, there are so many favorite things, but I think I like that it's kind of celebrated for a month. I think that's the best thing because you just get everything just for longer, like Christmas songs and films and food, for a long time.
Yeah. Cool trips.
Love it.
Love it. So you like longevity, basically, the longevity of the holidays and the longevity of Christmas.
I
Anything
just
that
don't
can
like Jen. I
combine.
don't like saying goodbye to things.
yeah, I'm clinging on to it. Okay.
Psychoanalyze.
But I do think here that's something else about that's similar here about like the longer holidays that gives kind of like a finality to the end of the year, which I think you don't have in England, because here it's like you're working to like finalize the year in your work. Everyone's going to be on holiday, and then you actually start the new year. The school year is the new school year in February as well. So it's
Yeah, that's
like
right.
you actually like it's the end, whereas
Yeah.
Christmas is kind of like an interlude in the financial year in England, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, like this year, for example, it's on a Monday and Tuesday. People are at work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
Like, it's just mad.
exactly.
It's like, oh, 2 days off, great. Like it's not really, yeah, it's a bit shit. That's if you work and you're not unemployed like me. Okay. Okay. Favorite, obviously everyone knows that British Christmas dinner is one of the most iconic things about Christmas for us, most important things. What is your favorite item on that Christmas dinner plate?
Favorite item, I like pigs in blankets, but only because you don't have them for the rest of the year. But if I was to have pigs in blankets like every Sunday roast, I'd be like, oh, I won't bother. Do you know? So I think probably cauliflower cheese, but not really the cauliflower. The cheese.
Just the cheese.
Bechamel sauce and the trues.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. A cheese sauce with loads of grated cheese on top. But the thing is about pigs in blankets, we could have them more often. I mean, it's not exactly, it's just a sausage with bacon wrapped around it, but like we don't, do we? We literally just save them for one time a year.
So weird.
But you're right, that's what makes them so great. Yeah. One more, Meg, please. Favorite Christmas TV special and or Christmas film?
Okay, TV specials, I don't really know many, apart from I do love Gavin and Stacey.
It's the only choice. There aren't any other choices, man.
Like what
it was a loaded question. I wanted to talk
Doesn't
about
matter.
that.
Doesn't matter if
like
there
when
are
he says,
anymore.
and when he says, are you asking me to step in? And Gavin's like, what? And he's like, are you asking me to step in? Step into Christmas.
Oh my god, that was such a cute little British moment that we all just shared.
That was beautiful.
Love it.
There are 2 Christmas specials, aren't there? Like the original Christmas special and the Christmas special when they reunited. Yeah.
Christmas film, Love Actually.
Okay. Simple.
I'm with you.
Classics.
I
Oh, you
agree.
I
is.
love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
fair
watch
enough.
both of them every year. Well, I don't anymore, but
What do you mean both? What's the second?
the Gavin and Stacey
Ah,
Christmas
sorry. Yeah,
special
my bad, my bad.
and Love Actually.
Yeah, she watches Love Actually number 1 and 2 every year.
Yeah.
Rosie.
Like,
You
what have
see
I
them?
missed? What have I missed? Okay.
I love
That's it.
that.
Thank you, Meg. Really appreciate you giving up
Thank you
your
guys
Wednesday
for having
morning.
me.
Rose, was that something I was going to say? You were thinking
No,
of
there
something?
wasn't, but I want to see Meg's Christmas wrapping paper homemade.
Oh, yeah.
You got like a snowman, Christmas puddings.
Oh,
You've literally put hours into that, Meg.
Yeah, this is only one. I need to do about 16
And you
to
make
make
sheet
wrapping
after sheet of
paper.
that.
oh,
That
that's
is
really
fucking
Yeah.
that's a lot of
dedication.
dedication. Is that to use for
Yeah.
Willard's family, or are you sending them home?
Well, it does actually depend on the present. My Australian friend, no, not to send home. My Australian friends had a baby. So I'm like kind of like an auntie in Australia with an Australian baby, which is very cute.
Sure.
And so I bought a present for her, and I'd like to wrap it in her, but I don't think she'd appreciate it because she is 5 months old. So
Probably just get sicked on. Yeah, babe, use that for
I would wait 5
adults.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
What have we been listening to?
thank you so much for joining us, Meg. It's been a pleasure. Love
You're
seeing you
welcome. Thank you
again.
guys for having me.
Yeah, we'd like
Again.
to have you on
Listening.
again, Meg. We will be hassling you again to come and join us for another episode. Talk about something
I'd
else.
love to.
All right. If we can coordinate
Yes,
the time
please.
zones again. Give me another headache with that.
Take 2 weeks.
But yeah.
Well, thank you
so
guys so
much.
much. It's been so nice to chat about England and Christmas in Australia.
Cheers, babe. Love you to bits. Izzy,
Love you
you've been
loads.
listening to
Anglatina.
See you later. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Natal.